Alright everyone, welcome to another Resident Evil 2 commentary for the Clairby 60 FPS standard knife only speedrun. This one is the current world record run as of, what was today, March 7th? Is it March 7th? Let me check real quick. It is March 7th. As of today, this is the world record, and right now we are doing 60 FPS. So I did one commentary on 120 FPS, and now I'm doing 60 FPS to explain the differences between the two runs, and there are definitely going to be major differences during boss fights. Alright, so we're starting off the run in the courtyard. The courtyard starts off with, well, we already started stair skating. Stair skating is when you save a ton of time on stairs. All you have to do is just aim down sight and then let go, and then she just races up the staircase and down the staircase, so that's pretty good. So here we're starting off the run here with really nasty RNG, but it's standard and it isn't too bad, so we can just take one bite and we'll still be on fine HP and we'll be perfectly fine with just one bite. So that's alright. But we are going to try and react to the zombies pretty well, since that's what we have to do a lot for knife only runs anyways. Alright, so here the zombie stopped there, we just evade it. It's perfectly fine. Now we gotta get this lady. Actually, yeah, we're gonna take a bite. Oh well, that's fine. We take the bite, as like I said, if we take one, we could just easily walk by the rest and we're perfectly fine. We still have like pretty high fine HP. So that's perfect. Alright. So knife only is very similar to NG, but instead we can't use the pistol to save our lives when it comes to a zombie being in front of us. So all we have to do is just evade, make them lunge, and then turn around and run by them after their lunge is over. Lunch. Alright, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab this fuse. Since this is the B story, we're going to take a different route. And yeah, this is the only fuse that we grab in the game. Actually, for Claire, you only grab one all the time. For Leon, just depends which story you're running. Alright. So 60 FPS, the knife isn't as strong as 120 FPS. So the boss fights are much longer. And you also need to worry about how enemies move on 60 FPS. Enemy movement is different. Inventory is different in terms of how fast you can actually interact with items, as well as interacting with your inventory. Interacting with your inventory is disgusting on 60 FPS, but we're just trying to optimize the boss fights a lot more for 60 FPS, because 60 FPS hasn't been that optimized yet, so we're working on it right now. And this one definitely did a good job in terms of getting really fast boss fights. Alright, so here we need to be on caution since we're running Claire. When Claire's on caution, you run faster, so we're going to take intentional damage here. And we do it in that kind of fashion so that Claire stumbles forward instead of backwards in order to save as much time as possible. And sometimes you get bad RNG with this liquor, sometimes you don't. There are times where the liquor actually reaches you all the way, and sometimes it doesn't even attack you at all, so it all depends. So here we're going to get rid of the key and the bolt cutters. We're already done using them both. And then we're going to grab the healing item. And the reason why I grab the healing item is not because of healing purposes. I grab it for inventory purposes so that the spade key can automatically go into the right spot for me. And of course, like, just in case we do go on danger, I could just heal. So that's perfectly fine. So alright, not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and grab the... What is it? The battery? We're going to grab the battery here. And then we're just going to run back towards where we just went through right now. So instead of a liquor spawning here like the A story, Mr. X spawns. But Mr. X is too slow. So we just easily run by him. And there's going to be really nasty RNG here. Here, I try to listen for the lady zombie's voice. But she doesn't. Since I don't hear it, I run backwards and then run forward just in case I get really bad RNG and she's right in front of the door. But she's that far away, it's fine. So we gotta bait him too. So as you can see, like, since we're running knife only, we can't do anything in terms of shooting the zombie in the head. As you can see, I got really, really unlucky there. The zombie actually reached all the way for me. It's unbelievable, but stuff like that happens in knife only, and that's perfectly fine. That's why we always pick up at least one spare healing item, just in case something goes wrong like that. It's not too bad. So I hope you guys don't mind a Claire B commentary. I know a lot of people don't like Claire B, but this one's very interesting in terms of how well I played my bosses, and it kind of displays, you know, for other runners who are running on console or they're running 60, like their computer can't run 120 FPS, so they run 60 FPS. So I'm just trying to help and, you know, get a broad range of people as much as I can. So here we're going to climb down after we already got that medallion. I got really bad RNG again. So we're going to push this. And here, what did I do here? Oh my gosh, this is disgusting. Yeah, so I had to go that way since Eleanor was in my way. That was just so unfortunate. So like, yeah, knife only has a lot of bad RNG like that to where you just have to go ahead and make the zombie lunge after you. There's nothing you can do about it. That's why this game's really dependent on really good RNG so that you don't lose too much time like I just did right there. So we're going to go ahead and pay attention to the RNG downstairs. I think the RNG is pretty good. Just going to solve this puzzle really quick without messing up, please. Alright, so the medallions have a lot of RNG, unfortunately. Every single time you do a run, they're always in a different position. And sometimes you solve it in a second, sometimes you solve it in 4 seconds. It's unbelievable. So, Marvin is in our way. We're going to run backwards to avoid his attack. Unfortunately, he was right in the worst spot possible. That's fine. Again, just more RNG to deal with. Alright, so this fight is definitely different compared to NG. 60 FPS, we can't shoot or anything like that. So what we have to do is, we need to knife G1, but we also need to circle around him early. Because if we don't, he will attack. It's either he's going to attack. I think he attacks. I haven't experienced it yet, but I think he attacks, and of course that's not what we need. What we need is for him to go crazy. So when we're starting out the fight, we're going to start it normally as if it's 120 FPS, but then we have to change it up. So here, what's really awesome about cutscenes in this game, cutscenes don't run the timer. As you can see when my timer completely stopped. And it's skippable too, as we just skipped it right there. So there we go, starting as 120 FPS. And then we're going to move to the left and go on his side to avoid any attack that he's going to be doing. And there you go, that's the craziness that I was talking about, what we need him to do. Alright, so we're going to be on the side of him the entire time, because if we were in front of him there, he would have grabbed us, and we lose a ton of time that way. Alright, that was a pretty decent fight. So now we just knife him down. He should be dead within this hit. Nice. Alright, so now we meet Sherry for the first time. The memes that Sherry brings. Yeah, Sherry, when you're running Claire, you run Sherry for a little while, and it's probably one of the most boring sections of the game. But a lot of interesting things do happen in terms of trying to save as little time as possible, and I'll get to explaining those when we get there. So that was one of 5 bosses for Claire B. Claire B has an extra boss at the very end, which is the true ending, where we fight G5. G5 is just William Birkin in his 5th boss form. So there's 5 bosses with William Birkin, but we call him G since he has the G virus. So G1 was there. We're going to fight G2 when we are in the sewers, and then G4 and G5 G3 and G4, sorry, are in the labs, and then G5 is on the train. Alright, so this next section, there's Lickers. So Lickers here are probably the most aggressive throughout the entire game. Even, I think it's less aggressive than the labs, especially on B-Story. So this part is all about the line you take. You want to take that specific path that I took, and you'll get through without getting attacked. And the same thing is going to happen when I go back. But let's see how my RNG is. I don't know if I'm going to get attacked like pretty badly, or it's not even RNG. It's just I keep on messing my path. The path has to be very specific. And it's just unfortunate that it's that hard. Alright, let's see my line. Yeah, I think I'm honestly going to get jumped on here. Yeah. Unfortunate. It's just my line was bad. I think I wasn't supposed to do that camera angle either, but whatever. We're gonna take that one. A lot of time saved for later. We almost got attacked there. So what we want to do here is turn around, aim across, backwards, behind, or away from that liquor, and it'll just either attack over us or a jump over us. Usually when the attack happens is that you turn around too soon, and the liquor has a possibility of hitting you, but it's fine when it misses, and you can just run through. And that's actually a little bit faster. Alright, so not too bad. So we're going to go into Chief Iron's room. I'm actually going to change the key into a different spot. Inventory is really important, especially on controller. You really want to make sure that you have things pretty close to where you start your inventory, which is always at the top left corner. Because unlike keyboard and mouse, you can't move to the end of the inventory really quickly, which is very unfortunate about running on controller, which is what I do on PC, but it's just what I am used to running on PC. Like, I'm not used to running on keyboard and mouse, but I will use keyboard and mouse from time to time, which is happening right now. So what I'm going to be doing here is interacting with this item that I just picked up. I'm going to turn it around very fast with the mouse, and there you go. On controller, you actually... on controller, if you decide to turn that item, it turns like 2 or 3 seconds, and it's super slow, especially 60 FPS. Everything in terms of menuing, zombies, yourself as the runner, well, like Claire, she runs slower, zombies are slower, but they behave differently. Inventory, you have to slow down. The knife is weaker. A lot of things are a factor in this run. Alright, so this is standard, and we're coming up to this zombie down here. Sometimes you can get her attention pretty early when you're climbing down, but even if it's on standard, if you get her attention super early, it still shouldn't be that much of a problem. And there she got a speed boost, actually. Speed boosts are very random with zombies. Sometimes a zombie can just get a random, like, run within them, and they can get really close to you without you expecting it. You really need to pay attention to it. And we just got fortunate. We escaped that one. Alright, so with Mr. X here, this is actually the second time we spawn him. You want to aim at his face, and you actually get a specific attack to where you can just run right by him. Just the way I do it. There's a lot of people who run this game who do it differently. Got a safety healing item. We got really good RNG with this lady. This is an extra zombie that you actually have to avoid on B story. Including Marvin in the main hall. So, not too bad of RNG there. And hopefully Marvin gives us really good RNG when we get back after grabbing the mechanic handle, which we need for the second electronic part of the game. Or actually, with my route, this is my first electronic part. Alright, here we can just dodge the liquor. Nice. Dodging that liquor in that specific way only works if you exit the door the right way, which I did right there. Alright, so not too bad. Maybe good RNG there. Let's see if Mr. X is going to be in the way, including Marvin. Let's see now. Oh, Marvin right in my face. Unfortunate. I didn't want to use my knife there because I need it for later. But this is why we have safety heals. Just want to make sure that you avoid, you know, having to take really bad RNG and then, like, you're going to be on danger for the rest of the run. That's why you always have at least one healing item ready to be used. That's fine. At least we didn't have Mr. X in the way, so that's perfectly good. So here, we didn't have a zombie in the way, so we had a little bit of time saved there, but let's see how this zombie, yeah. Okay, Eleanor, which what we named that lady zombie that's there, she actually gave us a pretty good path for us to get through. Sometimes she can attack pretty early, or whatever zombie that's there. There's 3 zombies in this room, so either or can be there, and they could just give us a really bad set of RNG, and that would have been incredibly dangerous, especially since we have no more healing items. So let's see if we get this guy to attack us. I don't think we got his attack. Nope, I don't think so. Okay, it's best to get him to attack you there so that you can just run straight out without any problems. But unfortunately, he was too far away. From time to time, you just really need to pay attention to that kind of stuff. But I misread it, but that's perfectly fine. So now we're gonna get our first electronic box. We gotta just solve this little gear puzzle, which isn't too bad. So this run's very similar to NG. The only thing that we can't use is like shoot the pistol to distract zombies or shoot zombies in the head to avoid them. Yeah, I think some viewer asked to change the costume, so here I am changing the costume right now. So we'll just let this run. I have a tendency of thinking that the costume changes the RNG of the game, but it really doesn't do anything. It's just superstition. And I'll make all of you guys believe in that superstition as well. Alright, so we're gonna get our first electronic box, and hopefully the RNG is good here. And it's bad, we're gonna get bit. Yep. Stuff like that happens throughout this run. Oh well. At least that zombie, that cop right there, gave us good RNG and wasn't in the way. But I think it happened because we took a bite. That voice crack was not intentional. Alright, so here we go. We're going to get this dodge. We're going to go to the right of him, try to save as much time as possible to get our last electronic box. So my route, we get this electronic box last. I just like it this way. I don't know. I've been doing it ever since I've been running hardcore knife only. And for hardcore knife only, you have to do it this way. For standard, you don't have to. But it's just the way I do it. Alright. So not too bad. That was the whole RPD section. It actually flew by. That's 15 minutes. Which is pretty crazy for B story. I think for A story is probably like around 20 minutes. But definitely this run could have been a lot better with like liquors or zombie RNG and all that good stuff. So here I am using keyboard and mouse again, but I'm going to go back to controller to solve this puzzle. Alright, not too bad. And now we head into the Sherry section, where the first puzzle in the Sherry section is full of RNG, where we get wrecked all the time. Alright, so we're going to get the specific quick turns. Nice. Save as much time as possible going back to keyboard and mouse, because we have to turn this item. Nicely done. And now let's see if we get the one change. The one change is insane luck, and we don't get it. It's perfectly fine. Yep, I had to change every single block. The worst RNG. That's fine. So yeah, that is probably the most RNG heavy puzzle in RE2 remake. But it's just the way that it goes. Hopefully RE3 remake doesn't have that much. We're all hoping as a community that they fix it, because the original RE3 is pretty nasty in terms of RNG. So here, when you climb here, you want to look at that angle that I'm taking, because it can take Sherry to the very right of the shelf, and you can just interact with this window right away. It's like these little tiny strats that, you know, that separates the top runners to like the top 10, like maybe top 3 to top 10. Those little things make the difference, and that saves quite a bit of time. Like I think there, like if you're at the very end of the shelf, the other end away from the window, when you're climbing, you lose like 3 seconds, and it's a lot. Like, because Sherry's super slow on the top of the shelf. You can't run. She's completely terrified. So it's a major time loss when you're at the way left side of the shelf and away from the window. Alright. So this section, again, you're just going to be running away from Chief Irons. Chief Irons is just trying to get, trying to use Sherry. That's what she's trying to do. I believe, I don't know the complete lore of this. I've totally forgot, but I think he's trying to imprison her and try to, you know, get her mom into the picture to try and heal him, because he is infected and he knows it. Alright, so now we wait. Again, this is standard, so here we don't even have to hide. We can just go ahead and stand out in the open. Not out in the open, but as long as we're behind this and we're standing up, we won't get caught. But that's only on standard, and the other difficulty that's easier than standard, I always forget what it's called. But if you're running hardcore, you definitely want to hide. If you're standing at any time and the flashlight hits you, the run dies. He's gonna see you. It's just really unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. Alright, so yeah, just hiding. It's constant hiding and waiting for a lot of minutes. Yeah, like I said, this section is pretty slow. It's just the way it is. I wish like there was some specific way like Sherry can interact with Chief Irons, but you don't get caught. That would have been awesome. Like you just play around with him or something. But maybe one day when they decide to remake this game a third time, that'll be such a meme though. So here on standard, you don't have to hide under here. There's another way that you can be out in the open, way in front of the door, but this is my way of doing it because I don't know the other way of doing it at all. So what I do here is I once Chief Irons is next to me, once I see Sherry get moved a little bit, I get out underneath the table and I run at the same time that Chief Irons runs in order to be as close as possible to the door when we get this key. So there's the push, we move forward, we get out, and as soon as he sprints, I sprint. Nice. And then we get the key. Nice. So yeah, there's another way of doing it where you can be out in the open, but it's a little bit more riskier, and that's why I don't know how to do it yet. Because usually where I came from, I started running hardcore knife only, and that's the way of doing it. You have to hide underneath the table and then you sprint. Just standard, man. Those extra risks that are in there. That's fine. We don't even need to do it yet. This run isn't that optimized yet. Look at this. I'm plus 15. There's still a lot of time save in this. Alright, so that's the Sherry section. Not too bad. Just a little slow section. And now we're back with Claire. I was about to say Ada. If only we could play as Ada in this game. One day. When they add a DLC after RE3 comes out. Alright, so here we're going to go ahead and do a little camera turn and then run through. That's probably one of the harder quick turns to do in the game because Claire does not want to run through the door. She's at a weird position. So like there's definitely probably a little bit of a faster way of doing it there. I just need to learn it. But not too shabby. So now we're going to spawn Mr. X again. When Mr. X spawns here, all we need to do is make him punch and then just, you know, avoid it just like we've done the other times. Well, I don't know. Have I even done it this run? I don't even know. But yeah. All you have to do is run to him, make him punch, avoid it, and then he won't be a threat at all. As this gate is opening at 5 miles an hour. Actually, like 0.5 miles an hour. It's taking forever. Alright. So that is the entire RPD section, and now we're heading into the sewer section. But before we get to the sewers, we need to run through a basketball court section and other stuff. Okay, so here we are with the gate zombies. When this gate falls, the gate needs to land. Once it lands, we get that guy's attention and then we run through. So you don't want to get his attention before the gate hits the floor because it won't do anything. The zombie is like programmed to, okay, once this door hits the ground, then you want to go ahead and take the bait. So you do have to take your time there, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And we got the second worst RNG there, where we actually got her attention, but she didn't do anything, luckily. So here with this next dog, you just run straight towards it. It won't do anything to you. Don't be terrified. It's just a dog. Well, I got the bad RNG to where he ran to the left of me. Usually what you want him to do is run straight at you, and then you could just run straight to the door. There, I strafed a little bit to the left. Good RNG? Nope. Okay, we got the bad RNG there. So there, the dog ended up running towards me, and there you have to move up to the right a little bit and get this guy to bait. Nice. Good dog barked too, and we just run next to this dog. Nicely done. That was all good RNG, besides that one dog that we had to dodge. I know it's very subtle when I dodged that dog, but I did turn to the right a little bit. I don't know if he could just go ahead and play it back, but yeah, I completely like changed the angle of my running, and just for like a split second, and it makes the dog miss. There's 4 different types of RNGs with that dog. And I think that one's probably like the 3rd worst one. Or the 2nd best one, whichever one. You can say it in either way. Excuse me. Alright, so now we are in the sewer section. But first, Mr. X is going to spawn again, but Mr. X can't be a threat here, even on hardcore. If you just continue to run, Mr. X won't do anything to you. I wish he actually like spawned in front, and then you could just run by, but then that wouldn't make sense because Sherry would probably die. But then it doesn't make sense either because at the very end of the game, you can actually run away without Sherry. But I'm just digressing now. Alright, there goes G, killing, well, not killing Super Tyrant. Obviously, he doesn't die. But, not too bad. Pretty good run so far. As you can see, like, this run does have a lot of RNG with knife only, but as long as we grab 1 herb at a time, we'll be okay. And we can spare a knife early. So, I never explained it, but for standard knife only, you want to manage your knives very well because you cannot use the infinite knife during standard runs. That infinite knife can only be used on hardcore, and the amount of knives the game gives you in this specific route isn't enough to where like you can't even lose probably 3 knives. If you lose 3 of them, especially healthy ones, the run's gonna die. But we have the run pretty well managed. Been running this category for more than a year now, so definitely I'll be okay every single time we run this. I think there's like other knives spread around throughout the run, but we don't go through those sections because it's just a huge time loss. No, I think I paused the game here because my nose is itchy. I apologize, everybody. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and grab this T-bar, which is the key to open a few gates here. Alright. And now we deal with the most heavy RNG run in all of the stories that the game has in the sewers. The sewers is very heavy RNG. There's 2 extra zombies that we have to dodge. But we got one of the better RNGs there with that zombie grabbing us from behind. Not too bad. And there almost got grabbed. Okay. So what I want to do there is bring the zombies as close as possible. I don't know why. Well, I know why. On standard, the zombies are extremely slow and you want them at the water. So instead of them walking super slow, I just make them lunge after me and make them run. So I try to bring them as close as possible, but I couldn't make the other zombie lunge at me. I was going to lose time. So not too bad. I think that G-Adults will give us the good RNG where we climbed up fast enough and the G-Adult will not be there anymore. So we're going to grab this hip pouch. Nice. So we grabbed 2 hip pouches in this run. We need a lot of hip pouches for the end of the game to carry as many knives as possible, as well as many healing items for the lab section, just in case anything goes wrong with the lickers and zombies. Nice, no G-Adults. And now let's see the RNG with these zombies. I think the RNG with these zombies, yeah, I'm going to go around both of them. I'm going to go on the right side, avoid them completely. I can climb right next to him and he will attack, but he'll miss completely because we're too fast. That's why Claire speedrunning is so much better than Leon speedrunning, because Claire is so much faster. But it's just unfortunate that she has to be on caution where like we're almost dead throughout the entire run. That's okay. That's why we have healing items for. So this is where NG and knife only start to differentiate big time. And this is where we need to interact with G-Adults instead of shooting them. So here we want to get as close as possible to get the G-Adult to bait out and jump out. And then we make them do a specific attack, which is what they're going to do here. And then we run back towards them after dodging it. So there you go. Now that you can run through on standard here without this other Geodude attacking, and we got it nicely done. Now there's an extra zombie here. This zombie, what you want to do is run around this way, and then make him attack, and he'll just miss completely. It's nicely done. See, if you ran too far behind where I took that route to dodge that zombie, you will actually get hit by the Geodudes, and things will just go wrong. You just want to be careful with that. So very well played. And now there's another zombie in this section. In this section, the zombie can give you 2 types of RNG depending on how slow you are. And hopefully we get the good one. The good one is where he runs to both ends of the fence. So let's see what happens here after we interact with this. So after we put in the next plug, he should run into that fence that I'm right next to, and then he'll go to the other fence on the other side. So let's see here. There, he runs into that one, then he ran into the other fence. Let's see here. Nice. And that's exactly the kind of RNG that you want. If it so happens to be where he doesn't give you the right RNG, then you just go ahead and make him lunge and just run backwards instead of taking the bite, because you will take a bite if you get bad RNG. Alright, let's see what the zombie gives me. Okay. Okay, what is happening? Okay, dude. That was the most weirdest RNG I've ever had with that zombie. What is supposed to happen, the zombie was supposed to circle around me, but he had a speed boost, that's what happened. But he was looking that way. Oh man, that was horrible. Here you can climb up and there's a zombie there, but I've been missing that climb down a lot recently. So I don't climb up there anymore. I usually get bit and it's just not worth anymore. Alright, so not too bad. We had some pretty decent RNG there. There was no Geodude in the way, but that zombie was just something else. Alright, so let's see if this zombie's a threat. Yeah, this zombie's definitely going to be a threat. Let's see what happens. And, okay, nice. Yeah, so if the zombie, whenever we're at that point before we grab the plugs, the king and queen plugs, if the zombie attacks on the concrete towards me, he's definitely going to be a threat on that staircase when we get back after we grab the plugs. Just things that you have to remember as you're running these. So we're going to get rid of that. Get rid of all the keys that we don't need and solve the B puzzle. Which is the queen. We're going to put the bishop in. Then we're going to grab the knights. We're going to put the king in. Then we're going to put in the knight here. Then we're going to put in the rook. Nice. And that is the puzzle for B story. B story and A story had different puzzles, but it doesn't matter if you're running Leon or Claire. As long as you just remember B story puzzle and A story puzzle. So I haven't explained it yet. We are never grabbing blue or red herbs throughout this run. We don't need them because we don't need to be on full HP. If we're ever on full HP, we are losing time. Again, Claire runs the fastest on caution. We always want to be on caution throughout the entire run. So there you go. So here you want to get a 3 cycle, 60 FPS. 3 cycles the best. And there we got 1, but that was a really fast attack. We might get really bad RNG here, to be very honest with you guys. Let's see. Yep, there's another fast one. That's horrible. We need a slow one. A slow attack. Let's see if we get it here. Nope, another fast one. Let's see if he's done. I think he might attack one more time. There it is. Another fast one. Horrible RNG. That is very RNG heavy. What you want is a slow attack and then a fast attack. Or in terms of 60 FPS, what you want is 2 slow attacks, so he doesn't do an extra one. But oh well. Can't do anything about it now. If you get that RNG, there's nothing you can do about it. You just lose maybe like 10 seconds or more. Alright, so here he jumps down. He almost hits us. You just got to make sure you do those quick turns very precisely. So here he does that attack. And since it's 60 FPS, you don't want to attack him at all. On 60 FPS, your damage is too slow. Like I said, the knife is very weak, and it takes forever to do damage. But what you want to do here is just do a 2 cycle, meaning you want to use the container twice. And I try to do this as optimal as possible. And there you go, he attacked, so now he's going to do the normal attack here. And you just run past him. You got to make sure that he does pause a little bit before he runs right next to you, or else he won't attack at all, and then he'll just grab you at another time. Alright, so here we just want to keep on evading his attacks. hit the buttons at the most fastest times. Don't want to lose too much time. Alright, maybe one more attack here. No, we're going to do one, and then he's got to attack one more time. But I do leave a little too soon. Okay, good. Yeah, we hit the button at the right time. He's going to attack. Here, you want to run right next to him as fast as possible before he hits you. Okay, he hits you. It's fine. You can just run away, run back towards the container hitting you. Nice. Perfectly done. Really good fight. We didn't lose any time, even though we did take damage, and we're still on caution, so GG WP for that one. So that's the knife-only strat for 60 FPS on standard. On hardcore, you do want to do damage with the infinite knife, since you do have the infinite knife. But you do 2 cycles, though. 2 cycles because when... Well, I haven't explained it. Holy crap, during that fight. You want him below 50 HP, and then the container will kill him. So on hardcore, yeah, you bring him down below 50 HP with extra knife damage after the first cycle, and then you kill him on the second cycle. So yeah, we're done with the sewers. Pretty good sewers. Not too bad. Maybe a little bit better, especially like if we had gotten better RNG with the claw cycles, but couldn't do anything about it again. It's all RNG. Just gotta deal with it. And now the labs. The labs is so much easier on B story than A story. And this is why I love B story so much. You deal with all of the nasty RNG at the beginning of the game, but at the end of the game, RNG is so much easier. And A story, the RNG is actually still pretty bad at the beginning of the game, and then the RNG just skyrockets in the labs because you have 2 lickers to dodge and 3 zombies plus 2 staircase zombies, and you have to dodge them like 3 times, and it's horrible. No, you have to dodge let's think. You have to do, well, just A story. Forget about it. I probably explained it during my A story commentary. You guys go ahead and watch that one. Alright. So here, we're going to put Sherry away. We don't need her anymore. And then we can finally continue on here. So B story is completely different than A story. I don't know how many times it says story today. Holy crap. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to keep it normally as if we're running A story. Same thing, we're just going to go all the way over here and get the second badge in order to open the main door in that room that we just passed. So here is more RNG with 1 zombie. And this zombie is actually one of the few zombies that can double lunge in the game on standard. And so I am very cautious with this zombie because I don't want to underestimate it and run next to it as soon as its animation is over. And then he starts another animation right away. One of the few zombies that double lunges. Like hardcore, that all the zombies double lunge. Yeah, this one can double lunge pretty nasty. Okay, we got the badge. We have 4 knives in our inventory. Okay, nice. We got good RNG from this guy. Nice. Yeah, so sometimes you can get that RNG where he runs straight to the left side of the hallway. And you can just run on the right side and hug it. And you can just run by without avoiding his attack. So on B story, the signal modulator is given to you early. And this is what makes the labs so much easier. You get this little bad boy here very early. Alright, so here is just going to be running around, hitting some switches. Man, I can't speak. We're going to hit some switches and solve one little puzzle, and then we get into the serious stuff. Actually, there's 2 puzzles, never mind. Then we get into the serious stuff, where the lickers are a threat and zombies are a threat. But it isn't as bad because it's B story. You gotta love B story. Alright, so here's where we see Ivies for the first time. Ivies can one hit kill, and this is why we use spare knives for this section. You want to make sure you have the weakest knives equipped in this section, because if you get rid of a very healthy knife then you're gonna go ahead and lose a very good knife for a boss fight. Again, because you can't use the infinite knife, you have to use these knives, and these bosses do take a lot of damage. And actually, we have 4 knives, and they're all healthy, so losing one here will be pretty significant. So usually, if a zombie grabs me, I'm just gonna go ahead and let it bite me from behind, or just, you know, just take the damage. Again, I have healing items for that. Alright, so this is the last puzzle, and now we get into the serious stuff. Okay, so here we're going to interact with our first Ivy. And just like any zombies, you want to bait him. Lickers are a little bit more difficult though, and it's a little bit more nerve-wracking because they can take a knife from you immediately. You have to use a knife because if you don't, you're going to die. So, very good dodge there. And now, since we already have the signal modulator, we could just run over here and wake up the zombies if we wanted to. Alright, first puzzle solved. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and grab this healing item just in case. Yeah. And now the lickers spawn. The lickers won't do anything here because we run into here immediately, so they don't do anything. And this is why B story is so much better, because you don't have to go get the signal modulator, come back, run through 2 lickers and 3 zombies, and then you have to go back into this room, and then you have to run through them again. That's why A story is disgusting. But we're in a B story now, so it's all pretty chill here. But now we get into the serious stuff where zombies are a threat and lickers are a threat. So let's see what kind of RNG they give us. Hopefully, maybe like 1 grab, and that'll be it. Let's see here. So you see everybody's awake now. I'm gonna make sure these lickers missed me completely. I have no idea where they're at. My RNG is insane. And make sure I dodge him. We dodge that attack. Oh my god, what is happening? Jeez, okay. Nicely done. Oh man, I forgot how crazy that section can get. So, we dodged both lickers. Oh man, and then we get good RNG here with this Ivy not being here. Man, this is all going well at the moment. That was insane. This is very RNG heavy, but that was very, very nice. Okay, so here all the Ivies should be dead by the, what is it? I forgot, that container that we used. I forgot what it's called in the game. But they should stay down even after grabbing the badge there, besides that one. That's the only one that gets up on standard. That's a threat. All the other ones stay dead on the floor, which is very nice. This is one of the Ivies that are most annoying. Alright, we got past him, and we got good RNG from that Ivy as well, so we can just run by without any problems. Nice. Alright, so no Ivy grabbed us throughout this run. Very, very insane. Very well done. So my DA is pretty low. DA, difficulty adjustment. If you're playing really well, the game gets harder, and that number goes higher. If you're playing really poorly, the number goes lower, and the game gets easier. So right now my DA is pretty good, since we didn't have to use so many healing items throughout this entire run. So nicely done. So now we're going to fight G3. G3, a knife only on 60 FPS. This is definitely different compared to 120 FPS. I think the fight's probably 30 seconds slower, maybe a little bit longer. But there's a very specific way of killing G3 as fast as possible. Excuse me. Okay, so there I unequipped my pistol. So that's the first time I did that throughout this run. I want to unequip the pistol because when you have the pistol out, you pull out the knife very slowly. And it's kind of a bother for me. I'm not used to it. You can still do it without it, but it's just my preference. I don't like having the pistol out. It's like an extra half second for the knife to come out, which you can work with it, but yeah, I'm not used to it and I don't like it. It just feels very awkward. But here during this fight, you are going to see me implement a strat where I equip the pistol when I change knives, or unequip the pistol when I change knives. Okay, so here we're going to pop the eye on his leg first. And we're going to do 3 hits. The third one, walking backwards. We run away, does that attack. We're going to pop this eye. And then we're going to run towards him. We're going to hit him as he's setting up again. We're going to run away here. I might take damage. I'm going to take damage. Wow. Alright, yeah, this is just one of the weirder attacks. Okay, yep. Okay, that was a fail, but whatever. Okay, he's going to do an attack there. Now we set up for doing constant damage as we circle around him. Alright, pretty good. So we're going to be doing this until his HP is down to 60%. Alright, so right now he's at 67. There I go, equipping a new knife, equipping the pistol as well. Okay, he's at 60 HP. Now he's going to do a specific attack for me so I can hit the eye on his back. And, okay, nice, we got it. Alright, so here, I want to knife him around 10 times. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we hit the eyes in front of him. So there I equip and unequip, so that we can keep on swinging the knife. That's what it's for. And now we should make him skip the entire second phase, and we did, so now we're in the third phase. Perfectly done. Hopefully he stays in front of us the entire time. Oh my goodness, nice. Nicely done. Oh. See, that's what's also good. You need to really pay attention to where he's gonna walk to, so that you can be in front of him the entire time, so that you can possibly kill him before he grabs the wall. Because once he grabs the wall, he will have iframes, and you can't kill him until he throws the wall into the floor. So that's a big time save. It's a very good fight. And now we're gonna go into the G4 fight, and of course, you know, we gotta get Sherry back and all these other things. So there, I'm trying to stair skate with a knife, but on 60 FPS it's super wonky whenever you are going down staircases, especially that one. I don't know why, it just doesn't want to work. So I got a little upset about that one there. It's just 60 FPS has so many problems in terms of, like, it's just like right there again it happened and I get upset. It's just so unfortunate how 60 FPS is just all around worse than 120. Like, inventory has to be slower, you're slower, enemies' behavior is different, interacting with, like, locked doors and stuff is slower, everything. Bosses are slower. It's a lot of things, man. But what I like to do is try to learn all the 120 and 60 FPS strats, because I like to just have a broad range of learning new things and helping, especially now, like, I know I'm helping a lot of 60 FPS runners right now. Like, trying to explain all these things and showing how these fights work. There's all these little route things and all these little strats. But maybe, like, I can get another commentary and explain the different scenarios that can happen. Or maybe I can also get a hardcore knife only commentary out there. Who knows? We'll see. I do run a lot of hardcore knife only as well. Just haven't ran it in a long time. Not in a long time. I haven't ran it probably in a month as of recording this video. Okay, so we picked up that knife because we need 1.5 knives for G4. If we don't have 1.5, we're not going to kill him. And if we don't have those knives, then for sure, like, we'll just pick up the infinite knife in this upcoming next item box. But that'll make the run invalid. And it'll be disqualified in terms of standard speedruns for knife only. Because again, you can pick up the infinite knife, but you just can't use it. Okay, so here 2 Ivies are going to be spawning. I'm going to get rid of my weak knives, all of them, in order to make my inventory a lot more space for the next key items that I need to grab. Alright, so here, yeah. So okay, I need to decide to just knife this away. I think I have... There you go, yeah. think that was my last knife. Yep, this is my last very weak knife, and then we'll be able to equip the stronger knives. So now here we wait for Sherry. Both Ivies should be down. We're good to go. Alright. So here is another zombie that could double lunge on standard. You gotta be very careful with it. But here we're gonna do a pretty nasty dodge where we run backwards and then run back towards it. As you can see, that zombie doesn't have a left arm, and you can run by his left side, or it's our right side, and he won't grab you because he doesn't have that hand to grab you. So just gotta think about those little things. There was another zombie that I didn't explain that did that in the sewers. But yeah, there's 2 instances where I do that in this run. Alright, so here we're going into the G4 fight. G4 is a very specific way of doing it, and for knife only. So we're going to see how well we do it here. So here we're just going to use the key. This is the last key in the game, and we're going to activate G4. To start off the fight on G4, we're going to run to the right side. We're going to go and put our right foot in this little triangle, and then get ready for the first swing. Here you want to make sure you get a very, very thick swing. And there you go. I'm pretty sure I hit pretty good amount of eyes. Here you want to swing right before he goes. Once he swings that time, you want to run to the left. And then you want to put 2 hits in. After you put 2 hits, you want to run around like that without taking the damage. Alright, nice. And then you want to put 2 hits in, run away from this. He won't hit you. And then you want to hit him right away here, and then hit him one more time, and then run to the right, and then hit him there. And then once you see eyes spawn, hit again, and then hit one more time. This should break the knife. Nicely done. And then now we should be able to kill him here. There you go. Okay, no, not yet. Maybe one more swing. There you go. Nicely done. This is the most insane G4 fight I have ever done, and it's on 60 FPS. This is faster than 120. So, like, if I can just implement this into 120, like, we could just improve the times tremendously. But yeah, I just optimized this run pretty crazy, and just this boss fight. That is the optimal way of doing it, knife only. Like, of course, like, it sucks taking the damage, that one hit, but you need to do it in order for him to not do a long attack. When he does the long attack, that's when you lose like 5 to 10 seconds, because he takes forever, and you can't hit him at all as he's going all crazy. And so now this is B story. This is the last boss. This boss is a little scary. As you can see what I'm doing, I'm knifing him, and if I'm extremely close to him, he will kill me. But right now we're keeping our distance and still able to lower his HP. So this is the fastest way of killing him, a knife only. So here I pay attention to 3 screams. He had 3 screams already, so that he's gonna do another 3 screams. And once he does the 3rd one, I run away. But there, I actually could have hit him one more time, so I don't have to do this extra menu right there. As you can see, I had to menu to my healthy knife, but whatever. So here, you want to hit the eyes, try to bring his HP down as much as possible, and I missed there again. We need 1 more %. So we have to wait, and there you go. That is G5. You can kill him about 4 seconds faster there, but my knife swings are pretty bad. You just gotta, I just needed to time it a little bit better. But that is standard knife only, 60 FPS on Claire B story. That is the current world record as of recording this video. And yeah, guys, hope you all enjoyed that one. Again, there's massive differences between 120 and 60 FPS, so for those of you who watch both my commentaries, I hope you guys learned a lot about both runs and how much they differ between each other. And yeah, if I make commentaries on hardcore, dang, that's when things definitely change. But GG's, guys. I hope you all enjoy, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!